G'day guys, it's Pete here from Clinic Mastery, and today I'd like to talk with you about performance in 2024. And in particular, I'd like to talk about reflecting on our own performance. And the reason for this is I actually found that in 2024, I wasn't super happy in certain areas with my performance. And I was reflecting on it at the end of the year, and I was looking back and I was quite harsh in some areas. And I was looking and I was going, no, I'm not happy with this and this and this. And I was looking back as well at my 2023, 22, and 21 reflections, and they're quite similar. Not always in the same area, but quite harsh around performance. And when I looked further into it, I think the discrepancy here and the reason why I was so harsh in these areas is actually because I wasn't setting what is the goal. I wasn't actually looking at my own productivity and my own performance and setting clear goals and measurable outcomes around this. And so, without a doubt, as a perfectionist, I'm sure you may be as well, being a business owner, come the end of the year, you look back and you feel like you didn't achieve enough. You didn't make enough progress. You weren't productive enough. You weren't on the ball enough. You didn't get enough done. You didn't make enough money. You didn't hire enough team members, whatever it may be. Not enough. And so that's when it got me to thinking, how am I going to define that in 2025? Because I would actually really love at the end of the year to be able to look back and say, I'm happy with my performance. And I feel like the only way to tangibly do that and do it objectively and genuinely be happy with it is by having some objective measures around it. And so for me, I asked myself a couple of questions. The first one is, how do I judge my output? Okay, so we might call these our critical drivers. So how are we going to judge the actual output? So not the outcomes, the outputs, so the things that I do. Now, the example here could be, let's say you're a clinic owner and you want to be getting more referrals in. Now, the output may be how you develop and build those referral relationships. It may be how many reach outs you do. It may be how many meetings you do it. Maybe how many people you nurture on a weekly or a monthly basis. That's the output. And then the outcome would be how many people actually come in, how many referrals do you get from that? And so what I wanted to do, because I feel like sometimes we lump these in together, is I wanted to quantify for me in those key areas when I look at the 2025 business plan from an output perspective. What do I expect from myself for the output, separate from the outcomes? Okay. So what I'd love you to do is pick one of your goals and write down from an output or a critical driver perspective, what do you expect from yourself over the next 12 months? Now, also at the same time, let's look at what the outcome is and go, what's the outcome? Should we achieve the output? What is the outcome that we are after here? And jot those down really specifically for each of these goals. Now, what you'll find is that the outcome is often much easier than the output goal. And so it's going to take you longer to think about what are the critical drivers, what is the output necessary, and what will you be happy with. Now, this can change throughout the year. It can go up, it can go down based on the outcome. But set that at the start of the year, set that now. And when you're reflecting back at the end of the year, look at this. If you didn't achieve the outcome, look at what the output was, and it's going to help you in the following year to change that. Now, ideally, you'll change it on, let's say, a quarterly basis, but just to give you an example here of a way that I'm looking at this. Because what I find when I'm working with so many clinic owners is they're often very harsh or very critical of themselves. And a reason that they're not able to appreciate the work that they're putting in is because they're not tangibly setting the work that should be done, the output goal, and they're just purely focused on the outcomes. And so when an outcome is missed, it is a fail. Now, ideally, we want to hit our outcomes, but we also want to make sure that we're appreciating the work that we're doing. Now, if we hit our output goals and we don't hit our outcome, the question here is, were we working on the wrong things? Or were we not working hard enough? And it allows us to create iterations of that to then achieve our outcome. Because at the end of the day, the reason you're in business is to achieve certain goals. Everyone's got different goals, but we all want, I would say, a business that is profitable, that has less and less stress associated, that allows a workplace for our employees to come in, our team to come in and thrive and achieve their goals, that genuinely helps people in our local community. We all want these things. And so look at the output goals to help align your effort, your time, your productivity with the outcome goals. and reflect on these on a monthly and quarterly basis. Because if you're not hitting those outcomes, let's go back to the output. And what you may find is the output in some areas may not be high enough. Cool, you need to increase that. And in other areas, you may be nailing it, but you just might be working on the wrong thing, in which case we need to change the strategy. It's a strategy problem. So I hope this helps when you're looking at the 2025 plan and you're going, what do I actually need to do to, at the end of the year, feel like I was really productive and I did what I needed to do to achieve my goals? What I'd love is that you look back and you feel proud of yourself. And that's something that I struggle with looking back at the end of the year. It's really feeling proud of myself in certain areas because I haven't defined what I needed to do. So even when there are large goals that we hit, it's looking back and going, I hit those large goals, but why didn't I hit more or more? Okay, and you can really get lost in that. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps with the mindset going into planning those goals and also thinking about output goals or critical drivers. Lose my voice a little bit, so I'll stop here, just getting over the flu. So thank you very much for paying attention. Thanks for listening if you got it this far, and I'll see you in the next video.